All right, welcome. Hello, everybody. It is Friday afternoon, at least here. Okay, no, I'm sorry. It's actually Friday noon. It's not afternoon. It is noon. Not morning,
On the button.
not afternoon. And we can only live in this for a minute, a day. It's only
Enjoy
noon.
it.
I'm Aaron, and this is SketchUp Live. With me today is my good buddy Matt.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I'm excited for this one. Going to be a fun one. Another SketchUp Live day on a Friday here. So thank you for joining us.
Yeah, this is gonna be awesome. We how long ago was it? We did the Meyer May house 3, 4 weeks ago, something like that. Um,
January 10th.
yeah. So what is it? Seventh now? So yeah, that
Yeah,
must be 4 weeks.
they say nearly a month.
There you go. That's the easiest. Yeah, round a month. We did it, and in the hour 45 minutes or so that we do, I was able to get the main bulk, the mass of the house in. I was not able to get into the doors and windows, um, just because of time. But I kind of, we talked about it, and I think there's just some cool architectural details in the window that I said I think it would be fun to just do that one by itself. So I'm sticking with that. I still say that that's what I think we should do, and we're gonna.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was looking at the on the Steelcase website. They have like a history of the restoration because if you're not familiar with this house, it was designed and like the building was overseen by Frank Lloyd Wright. It's in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and it kind of went into disrepair. But then in the mid '80s, Steelcase, along with some other donors, paid to have it kind of restored to its original state. You know, all the um, uh, trying to recreate the as original as it would have been on the day that Frank Lloyd Wright handed off the keys. So there are over 100 windows and skylights in this house, and you're going to be modeling each one of them today. Is that right?
Give or take 99. No, we
but
got
uh,
some.
but yeah, no, it's really cool, and there's a lot of great. They don't even call it stained glass; they call it art glass because it is very artistic looking and impressive, and kind of a key architectural element to the house for sure. So I'm glad that you're circling back and filling in the details there, because yeah, it would be a shame just to have the shell of the home alone without the key ingredient of the windows.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. I'm super excited to do this. We found some really good photographs of the actual windows, what they look like. So yeah, it's gonna be fun to get in there and actually just model these windows up just by itself. We're just gonna do like a vignette, a chunk of wall with the window in it. It's gonna be cool. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think. We don't really have anything else to announce at this point, right? I mean, it's just kind of we're business as usual, no upcoming events, anything like that. So,
Yeah, no, not really. I mean, obviously, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're not already, because we have great content coming out each and every day, and we do our streams every week here on Friday. So if you're not already, and hey, give us a like too while you're at it. I
yeah,
know we haven't even started yet. We haven't even brought the goods yet, but
it's worth it. I'm just gonna say it's don't just trust me. Click the like. Don't worry about
you will like it if you don't
it.
already, and it
That's
doesn't
right.
cost you anything. So
And think how much more invested you'll be. You're like, I put my like on this. I gotta commit. I mean,
yeah, it makes it more exciting.
that's right. You're part of it then. Like I'm standing behind this. I gotta watch. I gotta comment.
It's like betting on sports. Yeah,
That's right. That's how it works. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
we should try to get SketchUp live on DraftKings.
Ooh, that'd be good. How many times will Aaron say "whoops"? What's the over under on that? Um, yeah. Let's do this. Let's hop in. Let's get modeling. All right. So I happen to like I said, I have a couple of images I downloaded. I'm just gonna start by dropping those in here. Let me show you what I got. So the first one I have right here try that again. First one I have right here. And this one is really probably one of the ones we'll reference as far as the interior, because you can see look at everything that's in here. This is the window we're shooting for. So we have these two stained glass pieces, or art glass pieces. We have these two chunks over here, and then this section in the middle, top. And there's one of those skylights Matt was talking about. Each one of these windows has a skylight associated with it. So this is the thing we want to do. If we have time, we'll try to tackle this skylight, but I think this window itself is going to be more than enough. Just to bring in another one, let's drop this one in here. So you can just kind of see the run of them right there. This is the kind of, I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm super fancy or anything, but if I have a little sitting nook like this is the kind of windows I would really expect, right? I mean,
yeah, you say you're not trying to be fancy, but we have people in the chat commenting about your glasses. Like you're really bringing the studiousness today with the spectacles.
I gotta be honest with you guys. Most of the time I sit at a computer, I wear glasses anyhow, because I'm old. and I got the blue blocker stuff in there, so I'm trying not to deteriorate myself or do whatever blue blocking does. But normally I take them off when I record or stream. I'm finding that's getting to be more and more of a challenge, though. So, yeah.
Well, these windows are so detailed. You need to be able to see every.
Got to get in there.
Resolve every inch of them. So.
So yeah, I'm just being real with you guys. I'm keeping it real. This is my face. This is how it works. Plus, these are actually multifocal lenses, which means there's actually kind of a gradient. No, gradient's a color, but the lenses are full, like my reading glass prescription at the bottom, but at the top, it's almost none. So I can actually turn my head like this and adjust the focus. Kind of cool.
Huh. Interesting. Well, if Ben Franklin invented bifocals, who invented the gradient focals, multifocals?
I don't know, but I always had a problem with, I tried one pair of bifocals and I just spent so much time going like this all the time, like trying to look through the little window at the bottom. I felt got a kink in my neck. So yeah, I dropped it. I'm just going to keep bringing images in here as we go. This is an exterior detail of this section right here. So this section, you can kind of see this wood piece going all around. And then outside, it's actually got this, I believe it is also, it might be metal. I don't know. It's hard to tell. But you can see this reveal going around there. Pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And then, as with the other one, you can see here's a run of them, so I can kind of see. I guess that's for looking at from far away. Because you get in, that's a low quality photo.
Yeah, glasses ain't gonna help you there.
That must be me. And then the last image I have, I'm going to bring this one back over here. This is actually the art glass Matt was just talking about. That sits right in here, just kind of a detail of that. So that'll be real nice to be able to trace that on the flat.
Very nice.
Yeah. So this is it. This is our suite of images from which we will build a window. Yeah, so this is going to be fun. I'll just be straightforward with you guys. I'm not going to worry about scale very much. I mean, I know that when I'm done, this will be, I don't know how tall this is based on this. Maybe this is like a 10-foot or 10-foot ceiling height, something like that. So this is big. But I'm going to be more worried about just getting the detail in there and making the shapes. So with that, let's hop in and let's do this thing. Yeah. I'm just looking back through some comments.
Yeah, Sarah on LinkedIn, thanks for the request. Child mannequin in a, don't know how to pronounce this, tulle dress. Anyways, I I added that to the live stream suggestions. So thank you for saying that. Yeah, and if anybody else has ideas on either what you'd like us to model on a live stream or to cover in a just a regular YouTube video that we make on this channel, please let us know, and we will add it to our ever-growing list of suggestions. So thanks.
Yeah, that's great. I'll be honest with you though. Not every request we get gets a video. I'm just going to be straightforward. We love hearing from you guys, but unfortunately, it's not a you throw the word out and then it immediately shows up next week. So
True.
And I'm going to say this too, just because this happened. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to bring baggage in here. Asking for the same thing repeatedly isn't more likely to make it happen. I'm just going to throw that out there. All right.
Yeah, if you ask for it more than once, we take it off the list.
Put you in a timeout. You're in a request timeout. All right. So I want to start with this window, and what I'm thinking is I want these bars between the glass to have thickness. I don't want to just draw them in as edges and then fill in the glass. I want to actually put these shapes in here. So I think as I look at this, let's see. This piece is about, or let's say, how big is 2 inches? I'm going to call it 2 inches at this scale. So I mean, I'm sure in real life the leaded part's not that big, but I'm going to call it 2 inches for this. So I'm going to take this first outline, I'm going to offset that 2 inches, and then we're going to work from there where each of these bars that goes all the way up and down across, all this is going to be 2 inches as well. So I'm going to start by going to the middle and dividing this thing in half. As soon as I put in this middle divider, I can see that this image is not perfectly symmetrical, which is fine. That's not a big deal. We can work with that. We'll fix it. It'll be symmetrical when we're done, but just something to be conscious of. Yeah, so here's what I'm going to do. So it looks like these kind of goldish color pieces of glass are squares. So I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to drag down a square till it hits about there. I'm going to take that edge all the way across. I'm going to come down 2 inches, and I'm going to put that across like that. Come over here 2 inches, drop that down. One of the things that SketchUp does as you draw is it remembers what the last edge length you drew was. So if I was to come in here and just pull this across, I'll automatically, even though there's nothing here to snap to, it will stop at, if you look in the lower right corner, 2 inches. So it automatically figures that out. So if the only thing I'm drawing is 2 inches, it makes this real easy to go through and keep using that size. I'm going to option copy this over to the middle and then come over 2 inches and drop that down. And that gets us that. Up here, it looks like we have 1, 2, 3. They're not evenly spaced. See that there, which is kind of funny. But I think that's because, yeah, so I have this actually continues all the way to the bottom. And again, you can also see that my reference image is not square. See how close I was to the edge right here? And when I drop down here, see how far away I am? I could have gone through and messed around with the image to start with. I could have taken it and try to square it up in Photoshop or distort it so everything. But for me, it's just not worth the time and energy. I can reference where I think if stuff is supposed to be square, I can kind of figure out this is supposed to be in the middle, so I don't have to go through and adjust the drawing so that is perfectly in the middle. I can just kind of put that where it needs to be. So you could spend time doing that, but I don't think it's going to be worth it for me. Plus, at this point, and again, this is just speaking for me, I'm quicker doing this all in SketchUp than I am jumping over to Photoshop. I know my way around Photoshop, but not like SketchUp.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if that's experience or that's just how you're how you're built. Because for me,
Mhm.
like tracing over it and it's not lining up exactly, I'm like, oh, this is breaking my head. Like I feel like I must be doing something wrong because it's not like lining up to the photo, you know. But
Yeah.
if the geometry is right and your reference is right, then the image doesn't have to be exactly lined up. But still, I'm like, oh man, I'd like that to just line up exactly
It would
perfect.
be nice. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to grab this point right here, drag that all the way to the bottom, come over 2 inches, pull that all the way up to the top, and then another perfect square right here, another 2 inches over, and that's that done. Again, this seems kind of weird. I almost feel like these should all be centered, but you can see very clearly these two look like they're about the same size, and then this one's bigger, and it happens at the bottom too. It happens on the other side, so this is an intentional design. I'm going to honor that. That's what I do. I do things even though I don't understand why. So I'm going to put this one right here, this one right here, and then get my 2-inch edges over. 2-inch. There we go. So at that point, I can do this as I'm going to just clear this up. I want this piece to be all one solid piece because I want to pull it up in 3D space. And when I do that, it'd be nice to only have to pull up one surface. So again, just knocking out these shapes. Boom, ba boom, 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 and boom. All right. Looks good. I'm going to take this then, and I will grab it, Option, and I'm going to copy it down to the bottom. Most of that works. I got to do a little cleanup here. I could do that with, I can already hear, I'm heading this off. Could you do that with a component? Yeah, I could do it with a component, but as it repeats once and it doesn't exactly repeat perfectly, it's probably easier to just grab the geometry and copy it down instead. So that's what I did there. Awesome. Cool. Well, this is coming together fairly quick. I like it. There's a little bit of distortion. Parallax is the proper term, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah.
Distortion added to things that should be straight because of the curved lens that the picture is taken with. Is that right?
I think that would be some kind of like aberration or like spherical distortion or something like that. But parallax is more like because it's or parallax isn't that like something at distance versus something that's closer to you, and then it looks like stuff that's closer to you is moving faster essentially. Because isn't that parallax?
I was just trying to sound smart. I don't know what it is.
I guess there's some kind of parallax in this because the one edge is a little bit further away than the other edge. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. You don't have to make me feel better. I don't know what I'm talking about. I acknowledge it.
I just when I was eating lunch watched a video on spherical distortions and stuff, so that's why it's top of mind for me.
I love it. Learning.
Yeah. Barrel distortion, Randy says. Yep, good call. Parallax is an offset view, says Studio Article. So yeah, I guess this view is offset, right?
Yeah. This goes over like this. Keep that center line for now. There are extensions out there in the wide world, that will allow you to do things like draw 2 lines at once. I think one of them is called double line or something like that. They do exist, but I didn't even think about that. The other thing that could, in theory, be done is I could draw all of this with just center lines. I could draw the center line of each of these pieces and then go in and offset each of the closed shapes it creates. But the reason I didn't do that is because it takes a lot of intention to make all of that. Be very intentional about lining stuff up center line and that kind of stuff, and then coming back and clean that up. In my thought, this actually kind of, I'm going to admit this kind of gives me stitching vibes right here. Just going through and connecting these pieces together. And something, talked about this before, there's something like good feeling about that. I don't know. So I apologize to anybody who's already bored.
No, I love to see it. Also, and Peter, just to close the door on this, posted a definition of parallax.
Ooh.
And it definitely aligns exactly, no pun intended, with what you said. So I just want to say you're right.
I did do smart.
Absolutely.
Nice. Whew. Well, folks, I've probably peaked. So if you came here to learn from the master, I may be done. The other guy's coming in now.
Yeah, no more nomenclature. We've covered it. And so we'll just stick to layman's words from
That's
here
right.
on out.
This continues. Awesome. Yeah, that does kind of cut. Interesting. All right.
Nobody's perfect.
Not even Frank Lloyd Wright.
I know.
Sorry. Didn't mean to upset anybody.
Yeah, you're talking about like the uneven spacing on the top. He's probably like, somebody's like, are these supposed to be evenly spaced? He's like, are you questioning me?
That's right. Who do you think you are?
They're exactly like I wanted them. And then the person walks away and he's like, oh gosh, that's going to look bad, but what am I going to do? I can't admit defeat over here.
Can't back down now. Any Arrested Development fans in the audience? Because I always
count myself among them. Yeah.
I love that episode where Michael goes into his dad's office and talks about how naming a subdivision Sudden Valley felt a little janky, and his dad, of course, just reprimands him about that. And after Michael walks away, his dad goes, "Oh, that was a hard one to say no to." But in that, like you were just saying, he couldn't stop. He couldn't say, "You're right." He was strong dad. Got to show who's in charge here.
That's right.
Not the way to do dadding. Anybody who's wondering. Oh, I'm just gonna get crazy and just start drawing some shapes here. Whew. All right. This one, I can hold on inferencing and come right over to where that is, so I can line that up. Look over to, and then take that one up to here. Come down to, take that over there. Trace that over to there. Take that one up to there. Come over here too, take that up to there. Up to there. Cool. Yeah, we're about done with the. This one actually goes through. And that one goes through.
It's a shame we're almost done with this, because I would just wish this would last forever.
Ooh, sometimes it feels like that. Hey, you know what I haven't done yet?
Save. Nobody in the chat.
Wow. Guys, come on.
Hey, 24 minutes in. That's not so bad.
No.
24.
No, I've done a lot worse. Nope, this one goes across too. Awesome. I think is that it? Are we gotta go down here.
Earl says Aaron is a line guy. Maybe you should do a whole stream where you can only use the line tool.
I would take that. I would be willing to try that. All right. I think we did it all. Oh. Yeah, so there are portions of what I just did that we could probably do with the rectangle tool. The only place I use the rectangle tool is to get a quick and easy way to get this perfect square right here. Everything else I did use line on, just because it seemed to be the easier way to do it. But yeah, to that note, I probably could have done it. Sorry, Titty. I could have done it without, there's probably ways I could have done some of it with other tools, but line made the most sense. That would be interesting, to only use the line and eraser tool. Like how far could one get?
Tune in next week to see.
Hey, you know what? That's the kind of stuff I would love to hear. I don't know what y'all are talking about right now, but not that I'm looking to cause myself pain or discomfort, but are there challenges like that, thoughts like that you have wondered about that we could put to the test? Because that's kind of what we're here for. So you got thoughts on something like that, let me know. Let us know. All right. And that is that window. I'm going to right click and orient faces so they all are white side out. And trying to think of how to best do this. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this shape right here. So that's all the structural part, the non-glass part of the window. And I'm going to pull it out with my modifier key. Hitting the modifier key first pulls a new face out. So I'm going to pull it out like an inch. I'm going to flip around to the other side. I'm going to turn off X-ray too. And I'm going to pull this side out another inch. And that gets me that piece structurally, or, not structurally, you know what I'm trying to say. That gives me the glass is inset. And I think for this, I'm just going to leave a single pane of glass. I'm not going to, I'm not going to mess with giving the glass thickness. If I was doing something where I want to do a detail of like how a sash works or how the glass fits into, a cutaway of how the window's built, then I might worry about giving the glass thickness. For this, I'm okay with a single-sided piece, I think. There's always time for me to double back on that and say, whoops, nope, that was what I meant to do. But I think right now, I feel pretty good about that. So let's do this. I'm going to grab all of this, and I am going to grab my paint bucket. And many of you know I don't like using black as a color when I go through and paint things, because black is my line color, and then when I can't see my lines against my materials, it causes emotional distress for me. So instead, we're just going to use a really dark gray. Use like tungsten. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. With tungsten, see, this looks very dark, but I can see where those edges are over top of it. I could do stuff like color my edges, so I could make it all black and then color my edges light or white or gray or something like that. But yeah, this is the easy, quick way to do it. And yes, I knew somebody was going to make a comment about it, but this right here, this is the Mac default color picker. It's not an extension. It's not something special that I got going on. If you're running SketchUp on Mac, you choose from here. If you're running SketchUp on Windows, you're choosing from a bunch of little squares of color. Same thing in the end. No, you can't have this if you're on Windows. This is it. So,
although there'll be a good extension.
Yeah, maybe. Hey,
Windows only extension that gives your material browser the same look as the opposite operating system.
With as often as people ask, I'm surprised nobody's done it. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you can't do that I don't know. Yeah, you probably can't do that.
Colored pencils can't be recreated. We don't have the technology.
There's only one way to do that. All right. So it looks like most of this glass in the middle is clear. It looks like right here around the edges we have like a little bit of a fog or something, or maybe they're just dirty. They actually might be clear. We have, of course, these yellow ambery ones across here. And it looks like we have 1, 2, 3 that are maybe frosted or white, something like that. Yeah. So I'm going to do I don't know, I'm going to do something along those lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with white. And then I'm going to take my white and I'm going to make it like a maybe 20% opacity and color a window. Let's see what 30% opacity looks like. All right, I kind of like that. So I can see through it, yeah. So I'm just gonna come around and hit this. So why did I color everything gray and then come in and now am I coloring the windows? Well, thanks for asking. The reason I did that was because it is easier to click on these individual panels and color them clear than it is to come in and color these with black afterwards. So anytime you do anything like that where there's an offset where there's a bunch of ridges, this happens on trim a lot. Like when you do an extrude a shape around something, those are the things you want to color in mass with the paint bucket and not have to come back and do individually, because I've done it and there's probably video of me doing it and it's dumb. It's not, it's a terrible time. So
I've been there.
Yeah, been there.
Then I always like forget one, and then I'm like, oh great.
Yeah, you gotta
look back later, and I'm like, oh, default material sticking out like
popping
sore
through.
thumb.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely be intentional about that. Whoops, this one right there is supposed to be the white one. That's okay. I can come back and fix that later. Not a big deal. And I'm just gonna go across here. Unfortunately, the downside is that I have to do this twice because the back side also has materials. So actually, I wonder if, hold on, maybe that's not true. I wonder if I could change my material. So if
you technically would have done it 4 times. Somebody in the comments posted or pointed out that you could have made the one side a component since they're identical.
That's true. I could have cut my work in half again. Yeah, because I should be able to come through here, go to my in-app materials, and I'm trying to remember how to. I'm blanking on how to.
Or do you like? Are you trying to edit the default material?
No. So if I come in here, I'm kind of past the point of this, but I could have done this first, because now if I pick this material right here shows clear on both sides, whereas this one shows clear on one side and default material on the other. Okay. So if I had done one square, then sampled it, then put it on there, it would have done both sides. But because I was not thinking and I did that manually, now I got to come through and quickly fill. Oh, yeah, you know what? For the number of clicks this is going to take versus me getting crafty, I'm just going to fill this. But I'll say that's what I should have done is I should have made a material that was clear on both sides, and then gone in and started using it instead of changing the backside after I'd done the whole front.
Yeah. Oh, somebody also pointed out that the Lenny on YouTube says that little angled piece resolves in a Y and not a what do you say, the peace sign.
Oh, this. Oh,
so
I got the extra
that
geometry
middle
there.
Piece is.
All right, thank you.
It's not there. Yeah.
We can do that.
But attention to detail with Frank. So.
Thank you very much. See, I got so much QC happening right now. Like, it hurts. All right. Yeah, so let's go right here. Here's how I would take care of that. I'm going to run this across like that. I'm going to take this, follow that shape down, go here, follow that edge down,
Oh, you could have done inference locking to do that without the
That's
extra
true.
edges.
Did not break.
Coulda.
Coulda. Shoulda, even. Huh, why didn't that break? Come on
But you
here.
have a chance to show it off. And then
Shift.
now shift and
There
then
you go.
hover over that edge. Oh, well, when
Shift.
that. No, okay. Well, whatever.
I
If you start that and then, or if you hover over the edge first.
it's just weird that's not breaking it. Let me try this side. Sorry,
Uh,
I'm getting caught up in the issue. And yeah, so I can
Yeah.
come over here, come on here, and then bring that down. The
And then if
magenta.
you hold shift and then if you hold shift before you click again, hover over the edge. The edge that you want to inference to, the far side angled one. Hover over the edge instead of the point.
Oh, right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I
And
gotcha.
then go
I
to
can bring that
front.
right up. That did it. That broke it. Listen to
Yeah,
Matt,
see,
everybody.
That's what it was.
That's probably it. Yeah, that was it. I'm going to take this now, option, and bring it to t'other side. There you go. I should be able to push this back to here, push this one back to here, and then I should not. I really don't like that word, but I keep using it. Be able to erase that. So it's a little different from the normal just getting rid of a face because I want to maintain that clear face in between the two. There we go. And then reverse that face back out. All right. Got a Y. Got a Y. I'm good.
Yay.
Okay. Let's keep going. Let's get these amber things in here. So I want to try something with the amber ones. I want to find a material that's got like a grain. I was thinking maybe a wood color. Maybe this. Oh, yes, that is it. All right. And now that it's in the model, it'll show up in my in model colors. If I double click on this, it'll show up here. And then I can come over here and I can adjust that. Let's make it more yellowy. And then we'll take that and put like a 50%. Yeah, look at that. Awesome. And then what I did not do last time is I did not take this material and put it on the backside. This time I'm going to. And now, let's see if I do this. What if I do this? Okay, I'm a liar. Don't listen to anything I say. You know what I got to do? I got to go back and watch some of my own old videos and remember how to do that because I know it is possible. I got too much info. I'm full. It's all full up here. And I don't remember how to do stuff sometimes.
That makes me feel better that you have to go back and watch the videos because I definitely always have to. And I'm like, if the person who's making the videos has to go back and watch the videos to remember how to do it, then I'm like, okay, I feel pretty good about that.
I'm happy to be there for you.
All right, yeah, and the editing the wood material is a good trick. I feel like that wouldn't be the first thing I think of to make stained glass or art glass is to use wood for it, but it looks good.
Yeah, that turned out pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna put like a 80%, a little darker white on these middle squares, a little more opaque white. All right, and I think that is our art glass. I think that is all of it. So I'm gonna take that, right click, make a component. Oh, we'll call it the lower. Cool.
Nice. One down, 99 to go.
Almost done. All right.
Just a long stream today, folks.
Just to keep this moving, I'm going to get rid of that piece. And we'll bring this over here. So it looks like the bottom, like what we have is, the bottom is two of these pieces. So I'm going to take this, option copy it over here, give myself a little bit of space in between. And then we'll build a bit of a frame around there. See, Marconi's saying, why not hit shift-click, alternator key with the paint bucket to fill everything that was the same color. I could have done them all clear at the same time. That would have been a great way to do it. I could have done that. I think Here's the thing that happened. I want to just share this. I think what I have done lately is I've gotten so conscious on live streams of not like wasting time and diving down rabbit holes to figure out how things happen that sometimes instead of stopping and thinking of the best way to do something, I just muscle through with the part that I know how to do. So thank you for catching me on that. I should have done that. That is a great point. Great call. Great call.
How about brute force here on SketchUp Live?
That's right. Brute force modeling, baby.
Keep something going on the screen.
That's right. Stuff. Doesn't matter. Just stuff. All right. So what I'm going to do is with these lower windows, you can see we have this frame that kind of pops out around it. A little bit of detail in here, but not much. Like a little bit of an inset right here. And then a section around the window. So I'm going to start with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a rectangle. I'm going to come to this edge right here. I'm going to take that down to, whoops, that's not rectangle. That was a edge tool. I'm going to go from there down to here. I did it wrong. Right as I was about to click, I moved my mouse. Never done that before.
Yeah.
That's a lie.
Don't do that.
Same thing here. And what I'm going to do is, looking at this, I'm going to offset that to the middle of these 2 points. So like that. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to offset that to here, and I'm going to offset this to here, and delete the inside out, delete the inside out. And then I can take that and I can pull that forward. And that can be that innermost frame right there. And then I'll do the same thing here. I'll come out to here. And then on the outside, it's really hard to tell what we got going on, but I'll pull something out here a little bit like that. We can see that there's a little bit of additional detail, something like the top and bottom look like they run a little bit further than this piece in the middle. So let me pull that out like that. This is fun because everything, when we were looking at interior pictures of this, there's so much, there's an aesthetic to this. And like the outside, we have these kind of extruded, rectangular, just solid forms. Everything is these nice rectangles, to use a SketchUp term, push-pulled out. And you can kind of see it all through the architecture, all these big extruded squares. Makes it kind of cool for SketchUp because that geometry is very easy to achieve with SketchUp. I'm going to slide this over just a little bit to give myself some more space. And what I'm going to do is we're going to go a rectangle all the way outside of that, it looks like. I'm going to grab just the 4 sides, the outside edges. I'm going to offset those out because it looks like we have this little bit of a lip kind of sticking out around the windows. And then from there, I'm going to grab those 4 shapes again. And I'm going to offset those out to create this frame right here. So looks like a couple of inches. So I'm going to take that out. Like I want to try to get a nice round number on this. Yeah, so we'll call that 2'6". I'm making that a number intentional because that with the material continues in some other spots. So that shape actually sits. Oh, whoa! I'm making myself okay. We don't need you right now, color. So that shape, you see this lip sticks out. It looks like it sticks out past just slightly, maybe. I don't know. So I'm going to pull that up just proud of that. There we go. And then we keep going. I'm going to take that whole shape. I'm just going to pull it out right now, out to here. close this up by putting two edges, getting rid of that on the outside. I'm just going to kind of put a mass out here on the outside, and then we'll come back and detail that out after. I'm just going to keep chasing the inside right now. Okay, so on the inside, this is what continues up and becomes the square. Or is that set back?
Yeah,
No, it
looks like
actually
it's back a little bit.
Yeah, that's pushed in. So what we'll do is, because what I was thinking of doing is bringing one of these pillars on either side and making that part of what we model.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's going to look kind of cool. So that would mean if I take this up and over, and this up and over, we can take this shape up high. That would go up like that. That's this piece right here going up, and then we'll come across with some fake ceiling detail. So I think what I'll do is, sometimes when you get into this spot where you're doing like what I would call sculpting, from just getting preliminary shapes in, I don't want to get too hung up on, is it the right aspect ratio? Is it the right dimension? What's more important at this point is that I'm getting geometry in here. Because I can always come back right now, working with these simple shapes, I could grab this and I could fine tune how big is that space above. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I think
I like this way of doing it because I feel like I sometimes get stuck on like making all the dimensions right and everything, and it's like it's just so much easier to have something that exists and then tweak it versus like trying to think through every single, typing in every dimension.
Yeah.
Just gets kind of blocks you from getting into the actual creation part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. All right, so that's going to have some, I think we can use this square to help us figure out some dimensions. So it looks like this square is about the same. It's the same material thickness as what I used out here, which was that 2'6". So if I come in here and I offset this 2'6", that would make the square that big right now. And obviously that's not right. Right? If I look at this, it's not huge, but it's a decent size. So I think that means I'm going to have to offset this even more to make that a little bit deeper. Try that. Offset that 2'6" again. There we go. That looks closer to what I'm shooting for. Go up 2'6". Whoop. Yeah. That's not bad. All right, so it's 2'6", and then we have this kind of band of wood going across here. And then another 2'6", so we'll do the same thing up here. Something like this. There we go. So that's the general shape, and then with that, when I got to that point, now I can start moving geometry around to make this look like it matches that a little bit better, or closer. So first thing is this band right here, this wood piece right here is definitely bigger than the rest of these pieces that I used. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select that, and I'll raise that up till that's a little bit bigger. So that looks larger. The top rectangle compared to the lower rectangle, you see, is maybe twice as big. So definitely bigger than that. So same thing, I'll come in here, grab that much of it, and then stretch it up like that. And that gets me pretty close to that geometry, which kind of looks crazy. I think what's happening is because we're looking at it so far over, these window panels look skinnier. Or maybe they are. Maybe these are actually skinnier, but...
it could be parallax.
I'll bet you, that's a smart guy word. I believe that is probably what it is. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna call that it. So this is a spot where we are working from no reference geometry right now. We're just working off of a picture that wasn't necessarily intended to be used this way. So we're gonna have to guess a little bit. But this is a spot where if you were able to go into the actual house, take pictures, you might... What's going on here? Do I have a hidden edge or something? I don't know.
Something fishy going on here. Yeah, speaking of going to the place, Johnny Five earlier said they thought we were going to have a man on the street for this one because I live in the Grand Rapids area. So
we did joke about that
for
last
me,
time.
Yeah, for me to go over there, and I should have won and got some real good reference photos, specifically with the idea to SketchUp model it, but
Didn't.
I did not do that. So I'm just here in my home office, talking on a video call. So
something is something. I feel like I might have gotten out of plane or something. Let's check this out. Let's go save. How about that? That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Not seeing anybody using the S word in the comments. They're just pointing that out. Let's look at these by axis. Somehow I got some. How do I do the things that I do? How did I get this out of vertical? I do not know. All right, I'm gonna try to rotate this. I don't know how I did this, guys. I honestly... All right, there we go. Easy enough to fix, but I don't even know how I was able to get that not vertical. I mean, I'm just that good. People look at what I do and they go, "How does he do that?" So weird. Okay.
I never would have thought to rotate the edges. I would have just redrawn them, but yeah, easy enough to just rotate it back into plane. So,
and then somehow these
some of the
edges
stuff you did right, yeah,
are out of plane with the rest of it. I don't know, you guys. Seriously, it's incredible.
Oh my gosh, excuse me. Still getting over a little bit of a cough, so I apologize if I can't get to the mute microphone button fast enough. Then you have to
ignore
listen
Matt.
to me. But Earl has a comment about there seems to be some sort of apparition or ghostly piece right off to the side of your head.
Oh.
Yeah. And voila.
We live to serve.
Thanks. That's been annoying me all stream, but I didn't want to say anything. But since we have two people, then we have a
sure.
committee who
Earl said it.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah. Just green screen was a little bit edge of the green screen was a little bit in frame. Huh, that's weird.
Just had to rotate it back up to vertical, and then it was all good.
That's right. So for some reason, I got these edges are showing as not straight, but I can't snap them on. So I'm going to do this. I'm just going to take it. I'm going to exaggerate them out here. And then I'm going to try bringing them back to vertical afterwards. Snap back to the blue axis. Huh, still don't want to be. All right, come here. All All right, I'm doing it again. I'm messing with stuff rather than just. All
I was
right,
gonna say you're not
let's get this done.
walking the walk over here.
Yeah. Okay. Let's all right, get out. Get. All right. Let's see if it goes
Just
straight
start over. Delete everything.
straight up. Yeah. From the top. All right. There we go. Now those edges look great. Okay. So now I just need to close this back up. When you have a face like this, which has multiple holes in it, you have to connect multiple pieces to get it to actually close back up. So sooner or later here, there we go, pieces will start showing up. Or not. That's not.
Uh-oh, you thought moving the green screen got rid of the ghost. I think it's
Back?
it's all around us. No, no, no,
Oh.
no. It's
I gotcha.
that's the reason that it's not closing. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to take this over to here. There we go. Take that. And then I can just take this, offset that 2.5 feet. Okay, so now what I should have been able to do from the beginning was take this, option copy that straight over. Close. Huh. Still didn't, something didn't line up right.
Hmm.
All right, I'm not messing with it anymore. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this edge over, and I'm going to come up to, so I'm going to do this blind. That edge over. I can take that across like that.
All problems can be solved with the line tool.
That's apparently, yeah. I don't know what all these other tools are even for. There we go. That's all I really need to do. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but we're good. We're here. We made it to this. Now, but here's the thing. Here's the thing that's going to happen is, I guess these are set in pretty far. So this next set of windows is really pushed in here. So this is going to be interesting. So I'm gonna close this plane up right here. Oops.
Transom says color by axis is great. Used it the other day. Agreed. It's always a good problem solver. And probably for Frank Lloyd Wright stuff, you could just, or most Frank Lloyd Wright stuff, you could just leave it on all the time because it's like,
yeah,
you know, everything's pretty much orthogonal.
Yeah, seriously, he's got some blockiness. Hey, I got a question for you because this is the group to ask it of. Has anybody seen that movie, The Brutalist, yet?
Adrian Brody.
Yeah.
I've not seen it. But it's about an architect, is it not?
It is. As far as I know. I mean,
Oh, you haven't seen it either.
No, but our local theater is doing a limited engagement, and I was like, ooh, I think that would be pretty cool to see.
Yeah. Up for awards consideration this year, right?
Yeah. So it's like this line comes across to here. It looks like that piece goes across and it comes in higher, just higher than this piece. So maybe like here.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear if anybody has seen it because from what I've heard, although it's called The Brutalist, it doesn't really have a brutalist style in the movie. It's more of like international style.
Yeah, I was curious. Like, I know very little about it, so I was just curious if anybody around here, around these parts, has looked into it, because we did a podcast. That was a while ago. No, that was years ago. But we did a podcast on brutalist design, and that was a fun one. Yeah,
whether it's good design or not.
Right.
Catch that on the YouTube channel. Doug says the first half of the movie was good. The second half was unnecessary.
It
That's what
is
I'm
like
calling for.
it's all.
More 90-minute movies, you know? Let's get back to the old style of like brevity over here, you know?
It is like a. Isn't it a 3 hour movie? 3.5 hours, something like that. It's not quick.
I feel like 3.5 gets into like the um, intermission territory. Like,
Bring
yeah,
intermissions back. I want to see that. The let's all go to the lobby. Yeah, I think that was awesome. I want to see that again.
yeah, 3:35 is the listed running time. That's long, man.
Do you? There used to be a website. I tried to find it and couldn't it, but it was called like. Sorry, this is probably PG. Whentopee.com, and it was basically a listing of like when are the low points in a movie. So you put in the title of the movie, and they're like at an hour and a half in, there's exposition. They talk for 10 minutes about teacups, or whatever, and you
Yeah.
could feel safe running out at that time.
Oh, Doug says there was an intermission.
Oh, woo, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just gonna keep filling in this detail. But would you say, Doug? Would you say it is a worthwhile trip, or what did you think?
Well, I guess he's saying leave at the halfway point. You've seen it all.
Well, I always wonder. So, I wonder how often movies are worthy of the big screen. As soon as you
Okay.
start talking
Especially in the
about
era of streaming, it's like, could this have
exactly
just been a straight to TV movie?
right, exactly, and that's you know, do I need to go see this in the theater or do I just watch it on Netflix in a month? And I think I've become much more critical of movies in that aspect. All right, so this is
Yeah, but something about the theater experience. I don't know. I like
I
going, you know?
totally agree. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go. Um, I've told Matt this, but my son and I, I'm gonna go another 6 inches. I'm trying to figure out how big this little cut in here is. This is where, right here, is where it would actually be pretty cool to have a good straight on photo from on site. But my son and I got Movie Pass, which is an unlimited movie thing, and so you pay a flat fee, and then you get to watch whatever movies you want at that theater. And I'm gonna say that your standards for what's or theater worthy become different because, like, is this gonna be good? I don't know. Let's go see it, and that's that kind of becomes it. So
Yeah. It feels like the old days of movies where it was like, hey, let's go to the movies. What do you
yeah,
want to see? Well, whatever's playing.
it's
Just go and then, figure it out later.
absolutely. It's funny you say that because in so last time we went last night, and there's a commercial at our theater, which is two people sitting in a car, obviously on a date night kind of thing, trying to decide what kind of movie to watch, and they're in the car in the parking lot of the movie theater, and my son just leans over and goes, "Aren't they a little late to be figuring this out?" And I'm like, I feel like that's how it used to be. You pull up to the movie theater, it's 5 o'clock. What's playing in the next half hour?
Yeah.
Not so much now.
No, it's like taking a drive, nobody takes a drive anymore. It's
Nope.
like you got to have a GPS, you got to have somewhere to go. It's like,
Yep.
sometimes it's just good to get lost or get surprised by what's going to happen and not, not look everything up beforehand. Like you used to go to a restaurant and then you just read the menu when you're at the restaurant. Now it's like you got to look up what I'm going to get for an appetizer. I don't know. Maybe we should go, Thursday before 6 because they have a deal on fish fingers. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I blame that on the cost of living. Like, I'm not going out unless I know what I'm getting and it's going to be good quality.
That's right. Did have a question from Vincent over on LinkedIn. What other architecture movies would you recommend? So
Ooh.
Brutalist has kind of you know, a not a glowing recommendation from the chat so far, but yeah, what movies do you have that are architecture? It doesn't have to be about an architect, but architecture related, or maybe
Design
feels
related?
like design related.
All right, looks
I
like.
can't think of one, but I can look it up. This is like the opposite of what I just said. Instead of using my brain, I'm just gonna look it up on Chat GPT or whatever. But
Yeah, I'm trying to think of. I don't know the answer to that question.
Damsky says Towering Inferno.
By that argument, isn't Die Hard an architectural movie? It's got a building in it.
There you go. RT Cool says My Architect, which is a documentary.
It's not necessarily architecture, but have you ever seen the movie My Life as a House?
No, I've never even heard of it.
It is Hayden Christensen and Kevin. Am I blanking on the dude's last name?
Spacey.
No,
Nealon.
no. Keep going.
Smith.
Now you're just making up. Now you're just saying names. Uh,
Bacon.
no.
McAllister.
That sounds familiar, but I don't think it's right. No. Shoot. Oh, I hate when I can't remember names.
Kevin. Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do? What's it called again? I'll look it up.
My Life as a House.
Here we go. Let's get to the bottom of it. Kevin
Kevin
Kline.
Kline. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's the one.
No, it says it's a comedy drama.
Sounds right.
Let's get deep into the weeds on this. I'll read through the plot summary on Wikipedia. That avoiding giving up or getting up to modern CAD technology standards and is fired from the architecture firm. So he likes using a pencil and paper, and then they're like, "Son, you got to start using AutoCAD." And then he's like, "No."
It's like SketchUp or nothing, and they let him go.
Yeah, it's a tale as old as time.
Been there, huh?
Oh, Melissa got Kevin Kline before I looked it up.
Nice.
So congratulations, +1 to you.
Right.
And Zvezdana, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, also. Man, I should just look at the chat.
Our people know. Our people know.
Who needs internet?
All right. So I have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 horizontal pieces and then 2 verticals. It looks like the vertical pieces are the same size as the horizontal pieces. So I'm going to take that square, inset my 2 inches, divide a side by 5 so I get that division size, and then I can bring that over. So start by, actually, I'll just do this. I'll grab that, make that into a group, go into that group. There we go. Take this, divide this by 5. Here we're gonna go. We'll take this segment right here, option roll it down flat. Then we can take these edges.
Man, chat going crazy. I was just being silent reading through. But yeah, really cool stuff here. RT Cool says, my architect got an Academy Award nomination and a DGA award for Nathaniel Kahn.
Nathaniel
Very
Kahn.
good.
There we go. Here, this is the other way I was talking about. I could have done that first section. Take.
Yeah, good to show two different ways of doing something.
There we go. And this goes across right here. I come in here, offset this 1 inch. Whoop. So now there's a couple of downsides. One is I do have more cleanup to do because I got to get rid of all these center lines. The other issue that comes into play here is that my outside edge is now half as big as the inside edge. So I actually got to do some additional cleanup here because I got to take this, offset, why are you separate pieces? Why aren't you one? Take that down 0.5, which actually kind of goofs up my whole deal right now because now my top and bottom rectangle are just a teeny bit smaller than my middle rectangles, but I'm not telling anybody. So
no, it's like how they make pillars, bulged in the middle.
That's right.
It's like it just doesn't look right if you have the windows all identical. So yeah, it's an optical thing.
It's intentional. Yeah, it's intentional parallaxical design.
That's a t-shirt.
All right, there we go. And then I can bring this forward 1. Probably that out 1. Grab everything. That's what we didn't do before. I got smarter. I'm gonna grab my tungsten, fill the whole thing, and then I'm gonna go back here, grab my standard window colors, color everything on this side, and on the other side, I can say shift click, and it'll get all of them.
Nice. Look at you saving time.
Awesome. That is looking pretty cool. It's kind of joking with myself about all this extra time I was going to have, and I'm not feeling that as much right this second. All right, so we got here and here and here. We should only have to do this twice. We do one here, make a component. So I'm going to triple click here. Nope, one. Middle art glass. Boy, I really want that L to be capitalized. Got lazy fingers. They just drag. All right, get rid of those two. And now I can come into this one. Start by offsetting the whole thing 2 inches. I don't know what it looks like. I gotta go in here. All right, so the vertical, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then it's like a square. See, now I get this. I get that he's going for a thing, but I'm like, my sense of design wants everything to line up. You can see how he has the square to the left side for the first 3, the right side for the first 3, the left side, and then the next one is the middle. I don't know, Frank. I just don't know. So anyhow, 7 vertical. That's the important part. So I'll take this edge right here, divide that to 7 segments. Sorry, my there we go. And then what I can do is I can come this way 0.5 and drop that down. Come this way, then. Oh no, 0.5. I went 0.5. I meant to go 1. 1. Drop that down. Come this way 2. Take that up. And then I can take that shape, grab it by that middle piece, go to the next endpoint I have on here, and do that 5 times. There we go. Quick cleanup right here is all I've got to do to get rid of that. Get rid of that. Okay. And then we have squares that look like they're the same size. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to grab one of these, copy it, come back up here, paste it. I already forgot. Are we on? Yes. No. Other side. My rendition of this is actually looking a little backwards at what Frank had. Apparently, me and Mr. Lloyd Wright are on a first name basis. No disrespect to anybody there.
Braggy.
All right, so I'm going to do this. 2x. Got some cleanup to do. And then, oops. All right, what's your deal? Option over 2. Then actually I could take this all the way. All the way across. And then I will take this one, put it right in the middle here, and then put it on the end here, and then get my additional piece there. Grab that. Go to here. 2x. Clean up here. Actually got just a bunch of cleanups. Join that all together into one big piece. There is something very satisfying about getting this done and then push-pulling that web work of geometry all up at the same time. It is kind of fun. I'm thinking, why is it satisfying? Same thing as the stitching. Love when I get done and I have that finished mesh, but this is a little different.
It's satisfying for you because it works on the first try. Usually when I do something like this, it takes me like 10 tries. I'm like, why won't this
close?
Or like it's, yeah. But
all right, so some reason, see how these two edges here and here are not showing up as light. They're not showing up as breaking the geometry. Let's just go around here. So for some reason, that whole rectangle, sometimes what you can do is you can click like this and it will merge it right back in. It did it the easy way, so I can't show you the other way. If that doesn't happen, what you can do is take geometry that won't close with the shape that it's on and use move to pull it out of plane, and then do a second move to pull it and push it back in plane. And when it snaps to that plane, a lot of times that will cause it to cut that geometry.
Mm.
Is that it? Are we done with this? We are done with this. Okay. I'm not going to do anything with it yet. Actually, here, I will go a little bit further. I'm going to put my clear materials in here. Actually, this is a way to do it. If you can, going through and coloring those materials beforehand, including this. By coloring this now, it will assure that when I pull it out, it'll keep that color on it. So this is just me learning, I guess. That's going to make it easier to paint it now rather than afterwards. I'm going to grab all this geometry and copy it real quick. And I'm going to come down here and I'm going to paste that just kind of off the side over here. I'm going to come right down to right below that. There we go. Offset this 2 inches.
You have a reminder to save in the chat here.
Guys, you're so good to me. Thank you. Let's see, what would be the best way to do this? Here, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try this. I don't know if this is gonna work. I'm gonna make this into a group. I'm going to put it right here. I'm making it a group because I want to isolate the geometry to see if this is going to work first. I think that's going to be good, so I'll try exploding that. Sometimes geometry gets weird when you explode and merge multiple faces together like that, so it wouldn't have been surprised. But you know what? When you're messing with something like that, you're only an undo away from fixing everything, so don't be afraid. Don't be scared. So back in the old days, before I was working with sales or eventually marketing at Trimble on the SketchUp group, I did software training for a smaller company. And I taught this woman once who would not do anything without a clear understanding of exactly what was going to happen, why, how. It was crazy. Like, I get it. Maybe some people, when they're 3D modeling, just jump in head first and don't think about the repercussions and then hurt themselves down the road. But I just remember talking to her and be like, what's going to happen when I do this? Like, well, click on it and you'll see. She goes, well, but I would like to know what's going to happen first. And I tried to be respectful of that. I really did. But eventually I was like, I'm not telling you. You have to do it. You do it and then you'll find out. But it was just funny to me because, like, how bad could it really be? What could really go wrong? Like,
yeah, the stakes are relatively low at this point.
Seriously, like, yeah, there's not a whole lot that you can. You're not going to be physically injured or be held responsible for any damages of any kind by clicking. So there we go. I just did a quick push pull out. Pull this out 1 inch. Around this side. Pull this out 1 inch. All right, and there we go. Our windows are done. So all I got to do is take these two. Let's see. We will mirror those. Option mirror across the center line. There we go. What are you? All right. It's looking pretty good from the inside. Outside's looking a little lackluster. But that's okay. Maybe we're gonna get the inside done. Oh, we got half an hour left. We can do this. You guys are getting a lot of credit. I'm saying we a lot. I only see one hand on this mouse. I'm just, yeah.
Well, 2 hands if you count the 3D mouse.
That's true.
This
okay,
is a 2-hander. Yeah.
And if a third hand did show up, I would be freaked out just a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna do this real quick. I'm just gonna pull this out a little wider. I'm going to carry this across here. And then I'm going to carry that over to here. So I'm going to make like kind of a standalone. Oh, I'm trying. I can't get rid of that axis, man. Cannot be erased. Just so it looks like kind of a standalone vignette thing. I think this was 3 inches popping out, so I'm going to pull that out 3 inches. And then same thing here, here, and here. Let's see. looks like we got then, the same vertical trim. So, and then down at the bottom, it actually comes down lower like that. That.
The chat saying, "Don't worry, Aaron, you're never alone."
Aw,
The
you
chat's always
guys.
here for you. Johnny Five said, "Everybody over to Aaron's for the next live stream."
Ooh, I'm gonna need to get some chairs out of the garage.
We did do an in-person live stream at 3D Base Camp last year.
That is true. It was a good time. Yet another reason to show up to base camp. Pull this out, and then it looks like, yep, so we'll just take this, offset that 2.5 feet, wait, 2.5 feet. There we go. That was not big enough, but we can fix that. Because we got that, and then we got a gap, and then we got another. So I'm going to take this. Whoops. Left to right, right to left. Shoot, I forgot how big I did that. All right, let's say again. Got to put, numbers matter, even if you don't like them. All right, take it 7 foot wider. There we go. 7 foot. All right, and then we're going to pull this out ever so slightly. And then pull this out a little bit more. And then it looks like we got in here, we have another section. It's got 2 steps, okie doke. We'll do that. And I'm gonna try to do this because I want to do it the same on both sides. So I'm gonna do offset here once, double click, offset here, and then get that smaller step, double click, and then this goes out like that, double click. I'll pull this one out to like there, double click, and then this one is the smaller step, comes out like there, double click. There we go. Something like that. What is your problem? See, I got this. I got a section that's off of being straight again.
Oh, weird.
I don't want to brag, folks, but there is a reason that my first job was in quality control. I can do things. I don't know.
Yeah, break things.
I can't even explain it, my friend. How do you do that? I just do. I just do. What in the world is even happening? Okay. Oh man, it's getting worse. It's deteriorating. It's all falling apart. All right, there we go. Never mind. Everything's good. All right. So there's that detail, and then we had up here, we have kind of another little, kind of disappears into the shadows, but you can see that there's another kind of a square up there. So I'm just going to do, I'm kind of making up a little bit of these details just to make it a cool standalone piece. So I'm just going to take that and I'm going to offset it a little bit, pull up a square. So I'll just do this. Grab this, offset like that much. And again, I want to do it on both sides the same. I'll pull this across like that much. Double click to do the same. And then we'll just pull this out. And then double click to pull it out the same. All right, there we go. And that is, I think, all the details on the inside. Looks pretty cool.
Nice.
Which is really good. I'm going to delete Teddy because she's reminding me just how grossly out of scale I am. And then I can actually take these two interior ones and slide these down here. I'll grab all of these, slide them over a little bit. So I have quick reference to the exterior. I made a bit of a mess here. I'm going to have to do some cleanup work to get some of these surfaces out so I can work with them on the outside. Not a big deal. Let's see, what do we have? I don't think it's a big deal. Hold up. Jury's out. Let's find out if it's a big deal.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Option Push Pull to pull these shapes out. Option Push Pull says, leave the original face where it is. Don't mess with that. And just pull a new copy outward. By doing this, I'm assuring that I can get a working surface of anything that's not a window without messing around at all with what's behind it. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And then what I really want to do is get just a single surface of everything that is not window. I think I should be able to do that by just erasing all these lines that connect everything together. This is one of those spots where understanding how SketchUp creates geometry is so important. If you have a good grasp on how it joins faces together and that kind of thing, then this becomes kind of automatic and fairly easy to do. There we go. So let's pull it out at least this far. Cool. And let's reverse faces right there. Awesome. So now what we got is we got this super cool shape. I love this. And that sits right up here. Let's tackle that first. So I'm gonna, looks like we're a little bit off, like this like got a little bit wider than it is, but we're gonna make it work. Sorry, Frank. And that's going to happen a lot in what I'm doing right now. We're going to close faces because we're drawing lines on top of existing geometry. Not a bad thing. Fairly easy to clean up. I can just always come back and delete those back out again if I want. All right, then let's see. This drops down through here. This brick. Okay. So it looks like I'm going to pull this out to here. This out to here. And then it also looks like, draw that to connect that up to here, this to here. And then looks like we got something. Uh-oh.
So
not sure exactly what happened there. I may have lost connectivity for a second. I'm just going to keep clicking. So
yeah, it looks like we're back up. Lost connection for a second, but thanks for sticking with us through the technical here. But don't worry, Aaron's been toiling away hard, regardless of buffering or not. So
I don't even care. I just go. All right, so I'm trying to isolate that. Offset. that, and then we get a square right here. Get rid of this. This was actually the detail that made me think this would be a fun model. Because I saw this outside relief right above the windows, and I was like, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
That looks like fun.
Yeah, it's an interesting detail.
It really is. And right here we got a thing going like this.
Earl asks how long it took you to get used to a 3D mouse. I know recently you had a video on getting started with a 3D mouse, and you sort of mentioned your history with it in there. But you remember how I recall some story of you like disabling your other mouse so you can only navigate with the 3D mouse in order to force you to get up to speed.
I did. I disabled the wheel on my standard mouse so I couldn't orbit. The only way I could orbit was using this. So yeah, I did do that, and it was something. It was a scene. But yeah, I would say it was probably realistically I was in a spot where I got to do a lot of modeling at that time. And I think it was probably like, I would say after a week of no orbit, only using the 3D mouse, I would say I was probably doing pretty good. So yeah, it probably took most of a week.
Yeah, that's a good tip though, to if you have the control over your mouse to disable the wheel, then kind of forces you into it versus, yeah, definitely been there where it's like you have a new tool, but then you are so, your muscle memory is so used to doing it the old way that you never adopt the new tool. So
it is difficult. It's, I mean, we survive. We do what we have to do. And we just get so used to it. It's hard. Yeah. But yeah, it took a little bit of time, I'll be honest. It was not an automatic thing by any means. But worth it, in my opinion. Yeah, I do love moving around with a 3D mouse. Do the same thing here. I'm just kind of getting these general shapes in here. And it looks from here down. Actually, can't see the bottom of this, so you know what that means. That means Aaron gets to make up what happens from here down, which is going to be pretty simple. I'm just going to grab this. I'm going to pull this out like that. And then I'll throw brick texture here. All right, I think we're ready for materials.
nice.
Yeah. So here's what I'm going to try to do. I am going to, so this face is going to get the exterior materials. This is going to get all wood. I guess I could have been a little more creative with the ends, the sides, but I wasn't. Actually, I don't even like this, so I'm going to push that back like that. And that's going to go back like that. That.
Thanks for the suggestion, Brian, of Green and Green Brothers designs such as Gamble House. And hey, thanks for tuning in. Good to see you. And we had a question about what device is Aaron using for zooming and rotating. That is we've mentioned a couple times on here, but a 3D mouse. His is from 3D Connection. It's not necessary to use SketchUp, but once you get to a certain level, it's nice to be able to navigate and have your mouse free to do separate things. And obviously nice for presentation, real smooth movements and everything. So yeah, check it out if you're interested. He uses a 3D Space Mouse Enterprise from 3D Connection. Randy says the 3D mouse works on Google Earth too. You can zoom around like a helicopter pilot. Ooh, that sounds fun.
That does sound fun.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'd say you have a 3D mouse yourself as well. Have you been playing with it very much? Has that been something you've been able to spend time on?
Yeah, I have. And speaking of helicopter pilot, I told Aaron this, but when I first really got the hang of it and started using it, I told him it feels like I can fly. Because being so used to, navigating with a scroll wheel mouse in SketchUp, which is still, works fine and everything, but there's just a kind of a certain freedom that comes with a 3D mouse where it's like you feel like you have a whole new level of control. And yeah, I was like, I feel like a superhero over here. I can just glide through. So that was really cool. So yeah, I have definitely appreciated my 3D mouse, and certainly in the future, once I get back in the pilot seat, if you will, of the stream, I will be using the 3D mouse. So it's just so much nicer to look at. I'm sure people who, once you're used to using SketchUp, scrolling around and orbiting with the mouse is like kind of second nature. But when you're presenting to somebody, like a client who's not used to seeing the model move like that, they can be a little
jarring,
shocked. Yeah, it can be jarring at first. So it's really good to have a nice, natural feeling, smooth movement through your model.
So I chose a brick to put on here because I liked the look of the brick. So some of these are like kind of a deteriorated, broken down, uneven brick, that kind of thing. This is a very nice, even brick. It's the wrong color though, because you can see in here it's got kind of a little bit of red earth tones, kind of tan. But what I can do is once it's in the model, I can come over here and I can double click to this, and now I can actually change the color I want to use. So I can do this live too, so I don't have to wait and like apply it as I go, but I can kind of see if I follow my brick here against the image here, I can move this around and try to find the right hue and then lighten it up. A little lighter. Like that, and get something, whoops, undo. Oh, yeah. I scaled the outside of my model. Let me, there we go. I ran into an issue with scaling where I took the original geometry and I shrunk it way down. So then I went into it, put materials on. When it came back out, it scaled the material down to what I should have been for that geometry. So I got it back by exploding it all and then putting it back. So we're good again. We are good again. All right, I'm going to take at the bottom here. Actually, no, I'm going to use, I don't really like this color either. I'm going to play with this color as well. One of the materials in here is this 3D printing material. I don't understand what this material is supposed to represent, but it's got like this cloudy, stucco-y, I've used it for like texture on interior walls. I've used it to be kind of a natural color, like stone, that kind of thing. But it's just kind of nondescript, cloudy texture. And I put that on here because it's some kind of stone, you can see, but it's not super defined. So I use that texture. But again, the color's a little bit off, so I'm going to come back here, double click on it, and I think I can just kind of wash it out a little bit. I think that'll be enough. No, I'm going to have to bring it down here also. There we go. And then I will grab that, and I'm going to put that down here. Oops. I am not in context. All right, I'm going to put that down here. Yeah, the rest of this is going to get a not as dark as my dark parts were, as my black in the window. But you can see this is what I was talking about, where it's not super fun to go in and fill all this in. This is actually kind of monotonous, all the clicking. But this is what you have to do if you don't plan ahead with materials. Which, now that I'm saying this, I probably could have saved myself a little bit of discomfort. But I chose not to. I chose to just keep clicking. Sometimes just keep clicking is not the best solution.
No.
I've heard.
Can't be true.
All right, so here's the part that stinks, is like, okay, yay, I got that all. And now I got to go like this, and I got all these new faces that I didn't get before. So I come in here underneath now and get these. It's not, I kind of joke a little bit. It's a little bit of extra clicking. It's not painful by any means. Unfortunately, because I have the two sides where it's a monolithic model, I would call it. It's all the geometry joins together. I do have to do this. There's no shortcuts. I don't have any good shortcuts on how to do this quicker, because if I colored everything that was white to this color, it would take everything on the inside and change it as well. So, yeah, unfortunately, I probably missed a face or two in there maybe, but looks pretty cool. I'm going to turn off my colored edges too. I'm just going to take them all the same back to, yeah, baby. Look at that. Ooh. Hold on. Got excited. Let's get some ambient occlusion on this thing.
Ooh.
Yeah, a little bit of depth. Just looking good. All right, on the inside, I don't remember what this looks like. Let's grab these pictures and bring them back over. Please come with me. All right. Mostly wood. It's like all wood. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put this color, whoops, here and here and here and here. And then I'm going to come in with my favorite wood color, relatively speaking, is this one I kind of like. And I'm gonna try making that all wood to start. All right, looks good. And then I'll just come in and fill in the spots that have other. So it looks like I have like a tan color and then a little more orangey color here. So I'll fill that in. Whoa, stop hitting your head. Actually, are the centers of these? Looks like those are that color as well.
Same as the outside, yeah.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in with, I'm gonna go to that nondescript 3D printing material again, and I'm gonna use two of them. I'll use this one.
Pretty close.
I'm not even gonna adjust that. I'm gonna say that is exactly what I intended. And then in here we have one that's a little bit more orangey, so I'm gonna try this one. I mean, I could go fine tune that, but I feel pretty good about that. Okay, it needs to be a little darker. A little darker. All right, I'm gonna come back home, double click that, and then we'll just saturate it ever so slightly. Maybe get a little more, just a little bit more orange in there. Oh, that's too much. That's like red.
That is the same material used on the outside, right? Or is it different?
It is, but because I adjusted this one first, as soon as you adjust it, it becomes its own new material. So I can adjust this new one without accidentally mess up that. I'm pretty happy about that. That turned out pretty cool.
Yeah, looking great.
So I could go a little bit further were it not 150 already. And I could reorient some of these materials. So this one, obviously the wood grain's running the wrong direction, should be going the other direction. I could come through here one at a time and texture, position, and then turn that 90 degrees. And that would make sense to go do that for a lot of these edges and stuff. The ones that go horizontally in particular. That would be the fine tuning I would potentially do on here, but for the most part, I'm feeling pretty good about how our little Frank Lloyd Wright window vignette turned out. I'm gonna grab these pieces and delete them. Now the real question is, is the thumbnail this side or this side?
Well, why
This
not
all looks so
both?
good. There you go. Oh, okay. Here we go. Having some weird issues with my mouse.
Probably from disabling your scroll wheel. Somebody did ask earlier, and look, you're in the pilot's seat. I'm sure there's a name for a pilot seat. But somebody asked if you wanted to place it into the model from last time.
In theory, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, somebody in the chat, maybe you can post the model on 3D Warehouse.
There you go.
Somebody can.
I'll give you all the models, and then you could do whatever you want. No, that sounds like fun, but honestly, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how the scale would work out. I don't know if they'd actually fit vertically in there or not, but yeah, you could try that. One could do that.
Didn't mean to put you on the spot, but
ooh, look. I'm sorry,
yeah.
but look at that. Look at that.
That's art. Now it has become art class.
And look at this too. I just want to show. I know I geek out on things like the flip tool because I just like using it, and ambient occlusion. But look at how ambient occlusion softens up the shadows right there. And there's not soft shadows. You can see all the lines of these shadows are actually quite hard there, and that's just how SketchUp does shadows. But because this is falling on a surface that also has ambient occlusions, you get a much softer shadow right there, which is I just love that. That's so cool. I'll try to get these kind of pulled up a little bit more. Oh yeah, look at that. Look right there. Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of Frank Lloyd Wright and shadows, let me try to find this video real quick. There was a video. Sorry, I'm trying to type and excuse me. That Vox made a couple of years ago that showed, I think it's called "Why Do Frank Lloyd Wright's Windows Look Like This?" I just posted the link in the chat. And they talk about the shadowing cast by his windows. Like, obviously you can see on the floor how cool the shadows cast are from this geometric design. And that was part of his kind of experience that he was trying to bring into the residential architecture. And this video goes into why the windows are shaped a certain way, and then also uses a SketchUp model to show, like, they recreate one of the buildings, one of the homes that he designed. Then they have shots in the house, and then they have the SketchUp model that's geolocated with the accurate shadows of the time that they took the video, and they match up exactly. And it's like, before 3D modeling and everything, he would have just had to know what these shadows are going to look like at a certain time of day at this, certain point on the earth, and then design them in a way that casts like a really interesting shadow on, like, right, everything works together. So it's like, this bookshelf is going to have these shadows like from in this time of year because and it's just like so crazy the level of detail that goes into it. And it's really cool because it's so accurate. The SketchUp model is so accurate to the actual house. It's really cool. So yeah, check that video out.
That is very cool. I mean, can you imagine? Because he probably went out on site, right? And then like stuck a pole in the ground and looked at where it fell and like worked off of that. Pretty amazing to think about that.
Mm-hmm.
But there we go. We did this. This is what we did. We're here.
Beautiful. Yeah, great work. This is really excellent modeling. A lot of great tips in there. So yeah, thanks for showing it. And yeah, beautiful design and model as well. So good work by you.
Thank you very much. And yeah, thanks for hanging, Matt, and keeping me on task. And thank you all for coming and hanging out with us and watching. This was a lot of fun. I'm going to do this more often, show the front and the back of a model. It looks like they did twice as much work. I mean, I did model both sides, so it's not like I'm pretending stuff, but it does look pretty cool. The thumbnail's going to look like I did twice as much work, though.
That's the only problem with thumbnails is you can't orbit them. You know,
That's
they
true.
should build in that you can orbit the model on the thumbnail, and then we really will really be cooking.
We got to get that request into YouTube. See what they think.
Yes,
Awesome.
absolutely.
Well, hey, thank you all for hanging out with us. This is a ton of fun. Like I said, I always say, if it weren't for you guys, it would just be me and Matt sitting here modeling for each other, and it wouldn't be nearly as much fun. So thank you guys for coming in, bringing your expertise and your opinions on things. We always appreciate that. Like Matt pointed out, give us your ideas. If you can think of something you think would make a good live stream, or one of our normal models. We put models out, or videos. We put videos out several times a week. In fact, if you count shorts, we do something every day. And we would love to create content that is what you want to see. So let us know. But other than that, I think we're done. Have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself. And we'll see you here. What are we doing next week, Matt? Do you remember off the top of your head?
I have it up. Let's look at the you're planning to do retail space planning.
That's right. We're going to take a shop of some sort, and we're going to talk about how to lay it out. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be like Matt was just talking about, using SketchUp as a tool to visualize and see things. That's exactly what we're doing. So it's going to be a fun one. Swing by next week. Should be a good time. Actually, I need you to swing by. I haven't done this very much. I've laid out a lot of spaces, but not retail. So you got to experience this. Come on out and help me. Set me straight. I need you.
Yeah.
You're my only hope.
It's going to be fun. Yeah, and it wouldn't be the same without the chat. So thanks everybody for your time, certainly today. And hey, Eric Sargent in the chat. Good to see you, along with everybody else. So yeah, thanks everybody. Hey, have a great weekend.
All right. See you next time, guys.